Recently, I received a fan mail package by one Brandon. They sent me a lot of goofy things, but the goofiest thing they sent me is something that could very well change the future of Nerf warfare. Or it could be something that's absolute garbage. It's kind of hard to tell when it looks like this. It's a dart blaster, but I guarantee you it's unlike any other dart blaster you've ever seen before. Unless you browse the same clearance aisles that Clowny Nerf does at your local Dollar Tree. It's awful.
Garbage blaster. Gimme.
Oh, God.
I'm coming over. Stay right there. I am coming. This, the future. I'd run this in a war. It's mine.
Woo. I hate it when he does that. This is a thing. It's quite possibly one of the smallest blasters I've ever seen. And you could literally crush this in your hand if I really wanted to. But I don't, because I want to shoot a video on it. And honestly, I happen to like this thing a lot. And I don't even remember. Does it have a name? The Airfoam Spin Shot.
Yep.
From our good friends at Jaru.
Jaru.
Again, whom Clowny is very, very
it's a great working relationship with.
Yeah. He's in bed with Jaru. This is, I guarantee you, unless you've seen this thing before, it's unlike any dart blaster you've ever seen. Would you run this in a Nerf war? If you're this dude. Where do I even begin? It is a tiny little pistol thing that doesn't fit any kind of hand unless you're, like, literally a newborn, possibly, like, maybe even still.
It's actually terrible.
Unborn. It is, like, I can barely fit 2 fingers in here. I think my rat could wield this. Just maybe.
Maybe.
And it's made from the cheapest plastic ever. I've actually had to not play with this thing for fear that I might break it before we actually got this video out. But the second I got this thing, I looked at it, I played with it for a second, I realized what it was, and I said, this is the perfect blaster for Barrett. So, it does shoot foam. It shoots these things. They are headless foam, solid foam, but foam like shafts on like propellers. They look like torpedoes. They are air torpedoes, apparently. And you put them on the end of the blaster, and then you twist it.
6 to 8 times is what it says on the back.
We've twisted it like a billion times and haven't actually been able to hit the cap, like the clutch of when it would slip.
But I'm afraid to find out what that is because...
It literally is made of the cheapest, thinnest plastic. If you were complaining about Busby plastic, this is worse. But then you get it on there, and then when you pull the trigger, it does in fact fire a dart.
Whoa. Sorry, tree.
And then hits the tree above us. And it's quite honestly probably the most fun I've had in a very long time with this hobby. Because there's nothing else like it. These things twist and sail through the air and sound like a butterfly or something like that. And they're scary. And you can technically try to hit somebody with it. I don't think you will. We will try.
Curved.
And you might find this at your local supermarket, Dollar Tree. I wish I had more of them. I really do. I like it. I like it a lot. What do you think?
Can we talk about the trigger on this fantastic pistol? Because I know you mentioned the handle is a bit small, maybe rat-like size, but the trigger itself is truly astonishing.
All it does is when you pull the trigger, it pushes a little rod forward that basically just presses into the back of the dart thing. I'm going to call it a torpedo. That presses into the back of the torpedo and just kind of pushes it off. and then that also disengages the actual clutch that makes the whole thing spin, so it gets pushed off and spun at the same time. Perhaps too fast for its own good.
It doesn't feel good to pull this trigger either. I don't know if you've had the same experience.
You feel like you're gonna break it. You have to pull it really roughly.
Yeah.
And this thing, I will honestly be surprised. We've already shot this much of the video. I will honestly be surprised if this thing actually survives this video. But I guess we should man battle stations. You're in for a treat. Oh yeah.
One
also,
of them was already.
I did
died.
this. This was the first time I tried to wind this thing up. I kind of grabbed the fin, braced my finger on the fin, and I snapped it right off. And then I tried to glue it, and then he fired it, and it was a shrapnel grenade. So one of them's already dead. Let's see what this thing can do. Are you sure that's far enough?
Are you sure?
No. So I'm going to try it with the customary 8 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're just going to see this majesty. This is what they recommend. I'm guessing they recommend 8 complete turns? I did 8 clicks.
Instructions on.
Let's see if it even leaves the...
Yes!
Alright. Now I'll do it 8 complete turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's getting a little tough. 8. I don't want to do it any more than that. I think it will actually shatter. Lady Luck, be kind.
Whoa! That was the most accurate I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's not really all that accurate, unfortunately. Well, that was about optimal distance, so we'll try that again. It kind of seems like it doesn't want to hit anyone. It's just kind of like, oh, you're my friend, I don't want to hit you. Watch out, Barrett! But can we get a tag?
I'd like to imagine. Oh.
So close. You want to talk about mod potential?
I think everyone's going to ask about K26 potential. I think it's there. You just need to be really delicate with the internals. Maybe the afterburners are also likely going to help this thing reach some top tier performance.
We'll have to do 3S and Hellcat
I really
Neos.
don't think a 2S is going to cut it.
No, obviously 2S's are inferior. It's not like Thing revamps have the exact same performance
Right.
as
It depends on who you talk to,
yeah.
really, but I agree.
Yeah,
Oh no! Oh no! You know what this means? I didn't break it. I didn't do it.
It's dead, Jim. So, that's upsetting. I was hoping we were going to get more firing footage out of that. How did that even happen, I wonder? Well, this thing came unhooked. And, wow. It's the simplest blaster ever made. Remember that time I was, like, sitting there saying, please don't break it before we shoot the video?
I vividly remember that.
That's the kind of quality we're talking about. It may be fixable. I mean, this is just a wind-up spring that looks like it came unhooked.
The question is it worth fixing versus getting another one?
It doesn't even have screws in it. There are no screws.
So it's just snap in, maybe? Yes. Well, quick internals break.
I honestly don't want to do this before I take a thumbnail. I don't think it's going to matter anyway.
Wherever this is. Cutting floor.
That was the spin dart shooter. I liked it, but it's dead now. Sorry.
It seems that these don't last long enough to have good conclusions.
No.
Some things are just not meant to be.
Well, sorry to waste your time. If you had to give this a score from 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I would give it 4 out of 5 crappy blasters. 5 being the crappiest of blasters.
That's pretty good on a 10 scale.
I tried.
I'm gonna give it a solid hammer shot with a broken hammer. I think that's an apt conclusion. I'm Walcom S7. This is Brett.
Hello.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Of course, I hope to see you in another one.
Where the blaster doesn't break?
That doesn't happen very often, but when it does, man,
I will be there.
You will be there.
What are we breaking next?
I'm glad you got to experience this.